Hi everyone, it's Dr. E and I'm here to share the instructions for week 11. We're at week 11. We have a lot of work that we've put behind us. We still have quite a bit of work ahead of us, but I want you to take a moment and kind of celebrate the fact that, we have done a lot so far. So I appreciate your dedication to the class. I know that this is a tough time, whether it is because school is getting stressful or work or things with family or any number of things that are impacting us right now. There's a lot going on. So know that I'm here and I support you. So let me know what you need. But also know that if you're feeling that stress, you're not alone, okay? So what I'm going to do is walk you through some of the different things that we need to accomplish this week. So it may be helpful to either take some notes or to just kind of make sure that you're putting a list together of things that you need to remember. The first thing I want you to know is that you need to go back and take a look at the video of the instructions for the paper portfolio assignment. That's what we're peer reviewing essentially this week. So in order to get all of those details and refresh your mind on all of that information, go back and watch that video because it walks through everything step by step. Okay, it walks through the rubric and it also walks through an example. So just take some time to do that and look over the rubric, which are both going to be posted in the content area of D2L. Okay. Another note is that we are again working in groups this week. It's been kind of hit or miss trying to figure out the most approachable way to do this in an online environment. So thank you for your patience. A lot of you have been really dedicated to ensuring that you're offering one another some really good information and feedback, which I appreciate. Okay, so it's another week of this, but hopefully some of the practicing that we've done has prepared us for this week, which was the idea. But note that I'm going to make a little change because in the past I've used D2L to automatically create groups, and what I've done is I've just gone in and I'm picking the groups. So it's a little different, but hopefully it's going to be a little bit easier. So let me walk through some of the information. First, let's go over our syllabus schedule. So if you have your syllabus printed out, go ahead and pull that out. Let's take a look at it together. So you'll see that we don't have any readings that are due for this week. We've already worked on kind of thinking about peer reviewing in that process and what we should be doing to provide good, feedback for one another. So what you're going to do is, as soon as possible, even though it's due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m., I want you to post your paper portfolio, right? So it needs to be uploaded in the proper format. Y'all, this is not really negotiable. It needs to be in a format where you can share with one another and your peers can actually open it, view it, and add their feedback on the actual document. Okay, so make sure that if you are unable to, just quickly figure out how to do this, then you are Googling a video or Googling something to kind of find the answer. I would do that, but you're working with so many different forms of technology that if I post links, chances are I'm going to miss some of you working with a specific kind of tablet or a specific kind of cloud sharing or saving service. So just make sure that you're taking some of those steps outside of the class to make sure that you're offering the information in the proper format so that everybody in your group can see your work. Okay, so you need to provide feedback to each group member in your area, which means marking up their documents. So we've worked on this before. It's just some of the same kinds of steps. So everybody needs to have that initial document uploaded by Wednesday, and there's also a brief prompt that you need to respond to in the text box. And then by Friday, you need to post your peer review to one another, right? So go in, download everybody else's document, write your comments and feedback, and then upload that document. Remember, this needs to be done in PDF format so that everybody can, again, make sure that they see your feedback. And then by Sunday, you need to go back in and make sure that you're participating in your group. So you're responding to one another, you're thanking people for their specific feedback, show that you've read their feedback, and that you can open their documents, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's just a rundown. And now I want to show you what our content area looks like in D2L. So I posted the paper portfolio rubric, which you can open, as well as the final paper portfolio template. So I'm going to pull that up just briefly. This is the template, which shows how the format should be handled. Again, review the video for some of this. And then the rubric has some of the specific details about what you need to do. Okay. So just make sure that you're reviewing this information. This should not come as a surprise to anybody. A lot of you have viewed this video, right? So make sure that you're identifying what you need to do. Then we have our week 11 peer review discussion post area. Okay, so what I've done is I've, in each of your classes, created specific groups, okay? But first I want to go over just the general guidelines. I've put the contact information for the Office of Technology Services, or OTS, because if you're having any kinds of technology issues, I probably can't help you. I'm not a tech whiz. D2L is a little clunky and a little funky in various ways, and the people at OTS can walk you through how to do these things, right? So if you're having trouble uploading and attaching a document, they can help you. If you're having trouble going into the WebEx area, if you want to schedule a time to talk during my online office hours on Thursdays via WebEx, they can help you with that. Any of these things. And I want to make a side note about WebEx. Not next week, but I believe the week following, you will be required to meet with me for a WebEx consultation. So you need to make sure you know where you're going and what you're doing. Let me walk through that very briefly here. Okay. So if you go to the collaboration area of D2L and go to the drop-down menu, one of the options there is WebEx. Okay, WebEx is just like Zoom, but it's a specific kind of program, and it's a program that D2L supports, right? So that's usually what we work with. If you click on WebEx, you'll get this view likely, and I want you to note that you're in the event calendar area. I'm going to view it as a student to see. Okay, so I'm going to WebEx again, just be patient. Okay, so it defaults to this event calendar area, and what you want to do is go to appointment booking. So if you click on that, I have standing appointment blocks on Thursdays from 12 to 1 p.m. for any of you who want to have a face-to-face, online meeting. Other times it's just the instant message features from 12 to 1:30. But I want you to note that I'm going to click the week area. Not this week, but the week that starts November 15th, I have set aside particular block times for us to meet, so you can choose a time. There are going to be 20-second appointment blocks, and as a student, you just click on one of the blocks that you see and set a specific time to meet with me. I'm only telling you this because I want you to go in and just kind of see what to do when the time comes. I don't want this to jump out of nowhere and surprise you, or the technology to not be visible for some reason. That's what OTS is going to help you with. If you want to make an appointment now, that's absolutely fine, but I want you to know that once you choose a time and a date to meet with me, that is your time and date. It's not about going in and rescheduling and anything. So I would advise just hang on until you have your work schedule, until you take a look at your other syllabi and what you have due that week, so that you can schedule a time to meet with me that will work, because it is a large grade. Don't schedule it until you're, for sure. Okay. So that's just a side note. I want to go back to what we are talking about for this week. So in the content area of D2L, okay, for week 11, it notes again that contact information, and I've said you don't want to email. You need to call and actually sit with them on the phone so they can walk you through the steps and they can figure out what the issue is that you're dealing with, okay? So first, I need you to review all the information associated with the paper portfolio. And what we're going to do differently this week is I've placed you into small groups, and you're only going to view and respond in the specific thread that's set up for your group. You will see your name in the subject line, okay? So within those groups, you're going to click reply to thread and use your name as the subject line. And that's the only thread that will be used for your specific work. You're going to go into your group members, their threads that have their names, and you're going to, go in and hit reply and post the feedback that you have for each of them, right? So this is something we're familiar with. It's just the groups look a little different because D2L is not setting them up. I am actually doing that. And y'all, I need you to read these directions thoroughly and then go back and revisit them each time you start to do something in the group thread this week, just to make sure you're doing it properly. I've put that you have to put your work in .doc or .docx format when you upload and post your document for other people to view. And then when you offer your feedback, you need to save as a PDF file. Again, this is going to be different depending on the kind of technology that you're using. If you're using a tablet, if you are working with an online version of Microsoft Word, if you're using a Mac computer, it's all a little different. So you need to kind of figure out the technology by Googling it, or seeing if you can play around with whatever you're working with. So if you're working with Microsoft Word, you can just go to File. I'm off screen for a second. File, I'm clicking Save As. And then a window is going to open, and yours may or may not look like this. And in the file format area, for what your original document that you upload for others to provide their feedback on, it needs to be in Word, right? But then when you go to save somebody else's feedback, when you look at their work, you offer your feedback, you want to make sure that that's visible for them. You select PDF, okay? If you're working with a Mac and using Pages, chances are for either of these file types, you need to click the export option. So you're going to export your Pages document, and it should then change that format to either .doc for Wednesday's work or PDF for Friday's work. If you're using an Apple computer, this will make sense to you. If you're not, don't stress. It's not about you. Okay. So I'm going to pull up again this week. So I'm going to actually go to the area, and I want you to note that this is for one class. So if you're seeing names that are not related to your class, don't stress. If you are seeing your names, then know that this is in fact your class. So this is what the discussion area looks like for the peer reviewing. Again, I've put, your response with your uploaded document is due Wednesday. Your response with all your feedback to all of your group members is due by Friday. And then you need to make sure that by Sunday you go in and respond to every person who has offered you feedback, right? This is a conversation. It's about participation, okay? So I'm just going to click, you can see that everybody has their different names. I'm going to click on this group right here. You're only going to work in this area if your name is included here. Okay, so if I'm in this group, I'm going to read the instructions, right? I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to reply to this thread. And instead of leaving everybody's names here, I'm going to put my own name. Okay, so that everybody in my group can see this is my thread. I'm posting my work. I'm responding to the thread here. Because there is a prompt that you need to answer. And then to upload my draft, I'm going to click Add Attachments, okay? And this is where you click Upload. And this is where you need to be able to find your document. So if you're using a cloud service like OneDrive or Google Docs, you need to actually download a copy of your document to your computer, right? Unless you're working with the app. Right, so I have Dropbox that's loaded on my computer, so I can directly from my computer upload these documents by clicking Dropbox, right? But if you don't have the app downloaded on your computer, you need to save the document to your computer so you can then find it and upload it. You cannot directly upload from Google Docs to D2L. There's a step in there that you have to make sure you're taking unless you have an app like I have just showed you with Dropbox, right? So I'm going to select my document and click Open, okay? I'm going to see the document. You'll see that it's taking time. I, of course, clicked a large file just as an example. So you're going to wait until you can actually see the blue kind of hyperlink for your document, and then you'll click Post. Okay, and note, it's going to appear as my name on the subject line. My document is going to be here. And then once it appears that way, everybody who wants to provide me with feedback is just going to respond in this specific thread that I've posted. Okay, you can see the document here. You're going to click Post. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to add that to this group's work, but you get the gist, right? So I want you to make sure that you're taking time to do that and you're taking time to engage with one another with your feedback. I'm going to take a quick break and come back with a second portion to this video, so hang in there. It won't be a long video, but it's just a bit more information.